Welcome to Rose Feather Skull, a podcast highlighting stories from fascinating artists and entrepreneurs. I'm your host, t.g.cofield. Today we are talking with Clayton Anderson, a songwriter and recording artist, and one hell of a performer. Originally from Indiana, he was ready to walk away from the music game when in 2008 he won the KENNY CHESNEY Battle of the Bands competition. From there he moved to Nashville, where he put out a string of albums starting with Torn Jeans and Tailgates. He recently released an album called Made in the USA with songs like Indiana, Made in the USA, and Let Me Go, which is my personal favorite. This gentleman has opened for Eric Church, Blake Shelton, Jason Aldean, Jimmy Buffett. He's been influenced by legendary artists like John Mellencamp. He wrote an incredibly moving song for refugees in war-torn countries, which we'll hear a live acoustic version of at the end of this segment. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking to the man, Clayton Anderson. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Clayton.
That's fantastic.
Right?
That's fantastic.
Thanks for joining me on this episode.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We have a limited time with you because you're headed to CMA Awards tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go. It's kind of hard for me because I was there. You know, I've worked the red carpet for ABC. I've been in the audience seats, and it's just. But I'm trying to change my attitude and just, don't get caught up in the business of it. It's like, I don't. Is it uncool for me to be there and not be involved? And because I'm still trying to get there. So. Yeah, it's been kind of. I passed on the tickets twice, and then my friend was like, "Would you just please go with me?" So I'm gonna go.
Okay, I'll take your free tickets to the CMA Awards in Nashville. That so many people. I totally get it though, dude. Do you know what I just realized sitting right here? It's almost been a year since we shot our first music video together. Since I met you the first time.
Yeah.
Since we shot Let Me Go.
Yeah.
In Chattanooga.
Yeah.
I can't. Do you remember? Maybe it was September or October.
Yeah, we put it out in September.
So we shot it in like August, maybe.
Yeah.
Wow, so it's been over a year now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's honestly crazy. And I think we actually shot it in July because I remember I was in. Where was I at? I was in Minnesota, and we were playing this awesome party at my friend's house, and I wasn't drinking because I was like, I don't want to look puffy. I literally flew out and came to Nashville and got in a car, and Elena drove me to Chattanooga, and we showed up and made some magic. Honestly, still my favorite thing I've ever got to work on.
That means so much, dude. And I had an incredible time in the pre-production and planning it and the actual shoot. It was so much fun to have the fire department provide us rain for that night scene.
I was soaked.
Having my best crew in Chattanooga have the camera car trailer for your scene.
Yeah, that was sick.
The love interest to provide those cinematic shots of y'all in the car and safely. Capture it. The national park that we filmed in, not a national park. I don't know. It was some kind of.
It was a state park, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it a state park?
Yeah.
Then we were in the cemetery. Mm-hmm. And then, you can't go to Chattanooga without going to Lookout Mountain, right?
Yeah. Then finishing out the day on that beautiful that beautiful view.
Yeah.
On the back of Lookout Mountain.
I remember one of the guys in your crew, because the night before we had this incredible lighting team that you had assembled, which was so cool, so cool. And then the next day, I remember one of the guys who was on that team was like, you would have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to get the lighting that we're getting right now, because the sun, there was like this rain cloud behind us and the sun was hitting it and then reflecting. So it was magical, and it was also like so fast. Like you came up, like it was crazy.
Yeah, we shot that in one day and then one morning, correct?
Yeah, or one night, one day, and then one. Yeah, a day and a half.
Like 12, 14-hour day.
Yeah.
And then the next morning.
Yeah.
And covered a lot of locations. Dude, that lighting that you're talking about is actually really special. It's almost like a phenomena. I've been a cinematographer for a living for 12 years, 13 years now, and it's only happened twice.
Oh, wow.
One on the feature film that I shot during 2020, and then that night with you. And it was, there's nothing like you can do besides shooting and just keep rolling, but besides just like sitting back and being like, this is magical, but I also can't sit back and watch it. I have to keep going, but it is like, stops me in my tracks.
Yeah.
That glow, that magical glow.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was perfect, honestly perfect. I love it when new people discover it, and I'm like, where have you been? It's been out over a year. Mm-hmm. But that's a cool thing about it. It'll continue to live on and grow and grow and grow. So
yeah.
And my mom cried, so I mean, it got her.
Well, that's important. That's a big deal because she didn't cry about watching all your videos.
No, this was it. No, not at all. It really got her. It just tells such a great story. It really is a story. To me, it's just a little 3-minute little movie, you know?
It is.
I love it. And people have the questions at the end of like, so what happened? I'm like, I don't know. You decide what happened.
Like a good song, it's up for interpretation.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
I honestly love the format. The music video format, 3 to 4 minutes, tell a short story in that amount of time. I love the format. I'm in love with the format. I've heard some people talk about like poo-pooing it. Like I've heard some people kind of like talk down like, oh, music videos. And I think those people that don't feel the same way about music videos are either working on projects they don't like or maybe working in genres of music that they don't like, but I love it, dude, because I never think about a music video as like a performance video just with an artist singing. It's that might be a piece of it, but it's like an opportunity to tell a story in 3 to 4 minutes. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Pretty cool. And it's hard. And maybe those people who complain about it aren't good enough to tell the story.
It is.
That quickly, because you got to be really good and everything matters, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe that's been a year. And yeah, man, the film gods were in our favor. Whatever you believe in, they were shining down on us that day. Yeah. Seriously,
because we could have had. I mean, the weather. It was everything was outside, so it's so weather dependent. If anything would have went awry, we would have been totally pivoting
on
and
that
lost.
shoot. So many things could go wrong. There were so many moving parts, and we did so much for a fraction of the budget. Like most people that see that tell me, "Oh, that probably cost this much." And the point is that we stretched that out.
When you're on a budget, you just got to make it work sometimes.
Yeah, I love the challenge of that, and I only like the challenge of it when I have support, and the right crew and the right support behind me, which we did, and an artist like you who has his own ideas, but also is open to hearing like what it could be, how it could be elevated. And the first time they told me like, "Hey, this artist Clayton Anderson, would like you to pitch a treatment for the video. Can you just send in a treatment?" I was like, no. I want to talk to Clayton first and see what he is thinking, and then we'll get there. And sure enough, well, not sure enough, but they're like, okay, they connected me with you. We got on the phone. I still remember the first time we talked, and after that conversation, I was like, okay, I have an idea. And I knew after that conversation, I was like, okay, we can work. This guy is cool. He's creative. He's got ideas, but he's flexible. I'm like, I can work. This is the canvas that is needed to make something really great. And
I'm glad you thought that way, because it was I mean, I remember our phone call too, because I was in the car going to lunch, and it's almost like we just hit it. We just hit it off on what it was supposed to be like. So I'm thankful for it, and thankful for your genius of pulling it off, because it's just I mean, I don't really like watching myself or listening to my songs really.
It's hard.
But I love watching that video. I just love it. I think it's just, it has me the whole way through. It's such a great freaking video.
And well, that's really kind of you to say. But when I talked to you and got to know you, I was like, okay, I feel like I try to get in your mind as far as how you feel as an artist. And it was easier than some artists because we have a lot in common. I'm not, you're from Indiana, I'm from Canada, but working on the doc that we have in development, looking at some of those home videos, I'm like, by golly, these could be some of my home videos.
Yeah.
There's so much overlay, the Venn diagram of born in the country, on dirt bikes and, doing chores in the back 40 and just getting into mischief because there's nothing else to do when you're in a small town. Like I connect to that. Some people think I'm a city guy. I'm like, no, I moved to the city. I might wear skinny jeans, but I'm a country boy at heart. So check it out. Each one of these things on the table are each one of these things symbolize something important to me, and it's also connected to you. The rose represents doing everything out of love, like let love guide you in all your decisions. And I really believe that's the way you operate. And I want you to speak on these things after. But the feather, freedom, what comes with the freedom of realizing if we just be ourselves and not try to be something else, like the power of that. And then our immortality and the reminder that if we do have one life, by golly, let's make it count, let's focus on giving all we got, which is what I see in you, man. You're a force to be reckoned with. You've done so much on your own, and it's really admirable. What do these symbols make you think of?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I've always done everything. You have to. I think just because of my upbringing and family life, and I've always loved big. Everything is with a big heart. Everything is open. You have to do everything with love and with passion. Otherwise, what's the purpose? It's just if you're not into it. Like sometimes I'll go through droughts of like some people, they write every day, and I can't do that. I have to. It either has to come to me. I have to either have the ideas or stuff. I can't just, I don't want to just treat it as a job. I want to have it to be passionate, and I don't write as many songs, but I feel like the songs that I do write maybe have a little bit more of that in them where people can feel it. So I love that, and I try to live my life that way. The feather I love. I've always had a freedom, and I also look at the feather as a way to tell your story, and I'm such a fan of history as well. I've always been hard to wrangle down because I've been given so much freedom. I never had a curfew, but I never felt like I was constrained. Ever in my entire life, I've never felt constraints. And when I start to feel something constrained, then my first thing is for flight. I'm leaving this situation because I don't want to be stranglehold. And I hate being in a situation where I can't spread my wings and grow. And it's so frustrating. And I've been in those situations sometimes, and it's like I'm clawing it drives me crazy. And the skull is very immortality. And I used to, when I was 10 years younger, I would think that I was going to, nothing could stop me, nothing could hurt me. I'm going to live forever. And here recently, and the immortality and the feather as well of being my own person. There were a lot of times when I was younger, I tried to be somebody else. I want to be a guy from the beach. I want to be Kenny Chesney. I'm like, you know what? That's pretty cool being from Indiana. And the older I've gotten, the more comfortable I'm just being me. And if you don't like me, I can't do anything to change your opinion. So it's just, I quit worrying about so much trying to make it all these people like me as much as even in the last few weeks, like even what I'm trying to do on social media, everything I'm trying to do, why am I trying to appease and reach all these people that I don't even care about? So I'm just going to say what I want to say and be honest and open and I've always thought that being what's the word? I've always been inviting, inclusive. Mm-hmm. Like let's just have conversations and it'll be part of my creative songwriting process and instead of trying to be cool, I just want to be more real. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And that skull there represents that for me is just be real, man, because you're gonna die one day, and all these things that I made a post the other day about like, I wanted to have my name on plaques and things, and so somebody would remember me long after I'm gone. Who cares? Who freaking cares? No one's gonna care about some. It's like people. It just time moves so fast. No one cares, and I can't even find the plaque that I got my name on in elementary school. So it's like it's gone already, and I'm still that. Boy, she's scary, isn't it? Oh, yeah, it does scare me.
You know what I realized a couple of years ago? I thought about my great-granddaddy and how little I know about him. I can tell you, not my dad or my granddad, my granddad's dad. And I was like, I think I can tell you 3 things about him. If I don't know any more about him than those things, and I'm his great-grandson, nobody else knows anything about him. And I was like, that's only 3 generations removed. And when I realized that, I was like, I got chill bumps. I was like, it changed the way I thought about like legacy. And of course, we want to leave a legacy, but it became less about like having something with my name on it, because it will be replaced anyway, like you said, and just about like avatar style, like investing into the relationships of people around me and how that maybe ripples in a way I don't understand yet. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. But It is quite the thought whenever you realize, like, how much do you know about your great-granddaddy or your great-great-granddaddy?
Yeah.
and they were only alive like 100 and some years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We're just a speck. We're just like...
So fast. It's so fast. And I love history, and I love studying, and I try to, you hope that we learn from it, but obviously we don't. I mean, just over and over and over, the same mistakes are made. And it's,
wars.
Wars. And it's just, all of it. All of it. It's just a lot of troubles that you look, it just the same thing keeps happening over and over. You would think that somebody would finally stop, but at the end of the day, human beings still have this greed inside them that there's always someone that's a little more greedy than you are. They want to get something. I mean, I've seen friends, like a guy that knows a friend went out and did this to get, it doesn't matter. It's just the greed thing. I try not to be as greedy anymore. It's because it doesn't matter. Like I remember, like, it just doesn't matter. You can't take it with you. It's not going to go with you. It's about the feeling, how you make people feel. It's about the love that you share. Those are the things people can feel, not the sandwich or something you bought somebody. There's
so much darkness in the world, and there's so much light. Mm-hmm. And there's always something happening in the world that's dark, and it makes me question if I should post anything happy. It's a weird time to be alive with social media, freaking just mind fuck. But the yin and the yang, the continual yin and the yang of life and in the world, and how there's always darkness, always light. And that's one of the things I love about you is you chase the light, as I like to put it. Not just finding the light, but you chase, emit, shine. And one example of that is with the the song you wrote, "The World Will Know," and I've heard your story. I'm not going to make you tell the whole story again, but you were asked by a friend if you might come to the part of the world where there is, refugees having to flee their home, and she asked you to come and play music for them, and you said, "Yeah, that'd be nice, but will they know my songs? Will they know covers?" And it led you to think, maybe I should write a song dedicated to them. And you did that with the help of several songwriters. And tell me a little bit of what that song means to you, and anything you can think of about that song.
Yeah, so "The World Will Know" is by far, to me, the most important song, the most important song I've ever written, ever been a part of. It's inspired by something terrible happening in the world that I saw and thought was wrong, and I've always tried to be a person that would speak up for people who are voiceless or who don't have, or who, I don't know. I've just always, my mom's always taught me, look out for the little guy. Watch out for other people, take care of other people. So the situation presented itself. We wrote it, and going in, I wanted it to be something that could relate to any situation, anyone who's ever been oppressed. It might have been inspired by a war conflict, but next week you don't know what bad thing's going to happen where that person needs to hear that it's going to be okay. There are people out there who care. There are people who want to help you. And to me, that's what the song could be. To me, "The World Will Know" could be a light that, and it's kind of like we are the world, but yet it's a living, breathing. In today's age, it could be a living, breathing, evergreen piece of content that could grow and live forever. And hopefully, I'm working really hard on it. Hopefully, can make a big impact and a change in people's lives. Just only thinking about the good.
When things like this happen, and are always happening, like devastating events on the other side of the world, or even close to home, sometimes I feel helpless. Hold for toilet flushing.
Somebody went to the potty.
Do you hear what I hear? A trickle from the toilet being flushed. That's the espresso liquor talking. But yeah, sometimes hear this devastating news, that's something that's happening on the other side of the world. I feel helpless so much of the time. What can I do? And then at the end of thinking about it, at the end of the day, I think, okay, all I can do is use my gifts to do what I can. And for me, it's storytelling and cinematography, visual storytelling. For you, obviously, you're so gifted with songwriting and storytelling through song. And that's what you did. That's what I love about it. It's like you used your gift. You are using your gift to not just get some people to shake their booties, which is fine. The world needs shaking booties, but the world also needs.
It needs help. The world's in a crazy place right now, and to me, I always like to look at both sides and try to put yourself in the perspective of the other person, and it's hard to do, but you have to try to do that, and then try to find the truth, which is somewhere usually in the middle. It always seems to be, no matter what we're talking about, is each person, each party will party or people, whatever. It's the truth usually lies in the middle somewhere, and I think if we could all try to get to the middle somehow, and again, just do good. Why can't we just not what is better for me or better to make money or whatever? Why can't we just do better? And to me, the promise, the world will know is a promise not only to know better, but a promise that we will do better. And it's just, and the experiences I've got to do, you know, was always involved with different things growing up, but the song has allowed me to be, The World Will Know has allowed me to be in
environments.
Environments that are totally out of my comfort zone, or that have gotten me, you know, out from behind a guitar and be able to communicate and talk with people trying to make a difference. And it's been really cool and eye-opening, and in that social impact space. And it's been really refreshing. It's rejuvenated me, you know, because it's like I've been trying to do this music thing for 10 years now. And,
well, it's an amazing song.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
It, you know, in so many ways, it's not just I mean, it's amazing that you like had the idea and then it took the shape it did, and to have all these voices on it. It's really beautiful. It's produced so masterfully by Shannon Sanders, with the choir and all these different vocalists from the other side of the world. And I can't imagine what it's like to write a song like you did, and lyrics, to like give away all these pieces of verses to different people, and to be just like, all right, fly, you know, here's the feather, like go fly. Because even though you wrote all of it with the other co-writers, you sing a portion of the first verse.
Yeah. It was weird at first because I'd never written a song ever and had someone else record it. I've always wrote for myself. So I'm not gonna lie, it was weird at first, but then we had such wonderful people a part of it, that it just kind of took on its own thing that I was very proud of and very happy with, and I can't wait for the world to see it eventually.
Me too. Dude, you are such an inspiration.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Seriously, not just because of your determination and ambition and, you know, work ethic, but like as a man who had a dream as a young boy of being a musician, and relenting to giving it a backseat because of the idea that, like, if you move to Nashville and after 30, that's it. And there's so many inspiring stories these days of people hitting it big in all kinds of ways in the industry at a time in their, you know, life, like when people thought they couldn't do it. And what am I trying to say? I just really admire, like, you're a force, because not only are you just doing it, it's like there's a difference between working hard and working smart, and I think you work hard and smart. Thanks. You have a lot of people on your team, and I'm rooting for you.
Thanks, man. No, I appreciate it. That someone told me the other day, it's like, you know, Kenny Rogers hit later on. He was about ready to give up. He hit in his late 30s and then went on to have so many number one songs, one of the biggest country artists of all time. And then, you know, so it's given me hope. You know, those things keep me going. It gets hard sometimes, you know. You just gotta, I don't know what else I would do. So I'm just keep pushing on.
Yeah. Well, cheers, man.
Cheers.
Great to talk.
Thanks for having me.
Want to play a song?
Yeah. I'll do a little The World Will Know or something, maybe.
Yeah.
There was a home where children played. There was a church where people prayed. There was a feeling of belonging that the timeless hand of love had made. It's been shattered and been scattered by the wind. And now we have to gather it again. The world will know what happened here. Won't be silent to the violence, blind to children's tears. I still believe that people answer when the help is called, and when they know the world will come to save us all.
Hope you enjoyed this episode of Rose Feather Skull. If you'd like to keep up with me and my work, you can find me on Instagram at t.g.cofield. That's T as in Tim, .g as in goat, COFIELD. Until next time, keep chasing the light.